So I think at the time of this video, some of you may have watched the Jett lower body techniques from Tomahawk. I just want to we were talking about it earlier. The amount of like importance and equity that any athletes can build when they do stuff like that is incredible. I don't know, did any of you guys go in that comment section and like look at like, can you imagine
if in 92 McGrath was teaching kids and like I read that, I was like, oh yeah.
It's so,
wow, that's crazy.
It's so true. Like if any of these guys, like James, not to put you on blast in a bad way, because I love you and you're beautiful.
Go ahead, blast me all you want.
No,
I'm
like
used to it.
Your opportunity to become a known name.
Yep.
But let's say you won't make a podium at a pro race.
Yeah.
You're still going to be a known name. Where there might be some guys that'll make a podium this year, and people will be like, "Wait, who? What?" Like, I forgot that guy.
Yeah.
And then you look at the position that you're able to create with sponsorships, opportunities, because you go out there and help people like Jett and Hunter, and they're at the top and they're still doing it. Do you think that there's a tremendous amount of equity that those guys are building doing something like that?
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I don't think there's anything bigger than that.
Right. Explain that. What do you mean?
Because I think that's why we have the biggest thing and the biggest opportunity to be the largest brand in motocross. Because when you combine the giving portion, and we talked about this a little bit at dinner last night, and actually properly giving back to the community and teaching people,
sure,
combined with their cool factor, and that they're at the top of their game, I think that's like that is the pinnacle of pinnacles, right?
And it's like,
that's how I look at it.
It's so perfect too with them, because like they're not at their peak yet. And like most guys that get into that rhythm of giving back and that, it's long after they've done anything relevant in their respective sport. Do you know, does that make sense? Like they're still on the way up, and they're building that relationship and like accessibility with fans and riders and stuff. And like when most people do that, it's like their only option at the end of their career to remain somewhat relevant. And these guys have all the options in the world to do whatever they do is relevant, and they're choosing to do this, and that's what blows me away.
Hey, so Jackson, cool. Sorry, you weren't at Tomahawk, just to clarify again.
I wasn't?
Did you see any pictures of two Lawrence brothers being drenched in rain? Because it rained on and off all day at Tomahawk, and not once did I hear Jett or Hunter complain.
I know.
They went out there, and I think actually, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, was like, "Hey, Hunter, did you want an umbrella?" He's like, "No, I'm good, man." Soaking wet in a hoodie.
Yeah, super cool.
It was so awesome.
He might have said, "Yes, I do," but no one can understand their accent. So, like, let's not pretend that we can understand what those two say at any given point.
They're great. I mean, they were the last ones to leave at Tomahawk. They were the last ones to leave at Tampa, right? Like all the students had left. It was pitch dark out, and they're still sitting there waiting for everybody to leave and chatting with us. And yeah, I mean,
somebody will
and
remain.
it is just the beginning. They're at the very beginning.
Nameless. Somebody out there in the community was saying something negative about your association with the Lawrence brothers, and it just made me really sad, because I don't think that they see the scope or the vision as to why this is important, like what you're actually achieving. Like, yeah, of course people are going to collaborate with other big brands because it leverages everybody's position for the greater good. It was very confusing. I was like, why would somebody make such a comment like that? Is it jealousy, ego, whatever? And it just makes me, it was like, okay, let's all strip down why we think we're cool and special. Like, what are we all trying to achieve here? And when you look at what the Lawrence brothers are doing, Moto Academy, they're literally out there trying to help people become safer, better riders, which is like the best thing in the world.
It is so, for them, their careers is gonna be so much larger than statistics.
This is ultimately how, like, all the top riders always talk about changing the sport, right?
Right.
And there's been guys that have done little things here and there, but I think but nothing has. And I think this is the first real opportunity to like impact and change the sport. And I think that somebody saying, putting down the fact that we have associated ourselves with an awesome family like the Lawrences, and the collaboration that exists there obviously is out of envy and ego. And I think it's because they want to hold on to the idea so tightly that they have knowledge and information that nobody else does. and that it's like they put it up on a pedestal, and that's not the case. I think that they get mad that we are making it obvious that this isn't rocket science and anybody can learn it.
Yeah.
And that's that, like you said one word there that I think is so key, and that's like family. And I was talking to my good friend Hunter about this. Cam, you weren't there, but one thing that I feel like it's when people want to look at it like, oh, it's just like a business, they're just taking advantage in that, and it's like those two are brothers, and it's like they just meshed with us so well, like it was like a family style like collaboration of just like positivity and like just working together to make that. Cam, like you weren't there for a lot of that, but and I mean, you're busy, I understand, you don't have time for you don't want to make time for people like that, but if you have the opportunity to kind of get in with that family unit, why wouldn't you take that?
It makes it
Drop the mic.
tangible.
What?
It makes it
Tangible.
It makes it tangible and possible and obtainable for the way that we teach riding and dirt bike. Anybody can learn. I don't care if you are the least intelligent person in the world. It is not rocket science. It is very, very simple. And I think people like to there's definitely people that like to overcomplicate it and create a 15-minute description, something that I could have explained in 15 seconds and created a visual of in 15 seconds. And I think that's what's going to be important, is because we need to bring new people into the sport. Number one, the new people that come into the sport need to learn how to do it in the safest possible way. And then the people that are already in the sport have to realize that there is no secret or thing that is beyond the technique. Everybody should be doing the same exact thing. And I think that it's starting to catch on, and it is just the beginning, but everybody is going to realize that, because not only the Moto Academy, but now the Lawrences owning the Dog Pound and having the elite facility that we have, we're all going to be working the same thing. So it's going to start producing riders like Hymus and all of the guys that are doing the same program that we are. And they're all going to look the same and ride the same. And it is the most teachable way of doing it. I could teach it to Jamie, and Jamie rides exactly like the way that we do. And same with all of you guys. It's amazing how like you can almost just copy and paste it right onto another person so easily. And that hasn't existed before. It's always been about like, go faster, do this, or I'm going to give you a 25-minute explanation about why your knees should be in this position. And people are just like, all right, I don't. What?
If I can say, so when I first went to the first Moto Academy, kid know how to ride a dirt bike, that's it. Once you taught us the right way, and I've never felt safer, and I actually felt safer in races, safer riding, confident to go on these bigger tracks. And as a vet rider, older rider, I'm not one of the other 5%, but as a vet rider, the lessons learned on how to ride the proper way with the proper technique keep you safe. And you younger guys that are not vet riders, it hurts when you hit the ground over 50 years old. So not hitting the ground feels great.
Damn it. Unbelievable. And
but
you've had a
also,
couple experiences too where he's cased some big jumps.
Oh, yeah.
Since.
Oh yeah, we were
You've
down
learned
at,
how to ride the right way?
at Spider at one time. I was petrified to do that one jump, and you just said do this, this, and this, and your knowledge able to tell me what gear, how fast, what throttle, right over it, no problem. After I
and
cased
like you said, like this is the first like weekend that we've like all got to hang out and like ride together and stuff. And like Jamie was asking like Ryan and I, how long have you guys been riding? And like it's like a couple years collectively between the two of us.
Yeah.
And like it just, but like the using the right technique, I mean that's all you need. That makes sense.
Well, and it's just, I think it's becoming the cool thing to do, which was the ultimate goal here. Where Jett and Hunter help, is it creates that cool factor where people are like, oh, like before maybe it was trying to do a sweet scrub on Instagram, and now it's like, oh, okay, like the cool thing is standing up through a corner with your feet on the pegs. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Was make.
I might be biased because people know that I have a connection with you, but like my friends, when they send me texts or a picture that somebody took, I'm actually trying to think, has it ever been like them doing a scrub or a whip? No, it's them absolutely railing a corner, standing up, or something like that. Like I might be biased, but yes, I think there are more kids now that care about that, where it's like, no, I did it perfectly with good technique, and that's why it's fun, or that's why it's cool.
And what we need to do, guys, and I don't know if we've talked about this collectively yet, but somebody came up and asked a question in Tennessee when James and Jamie were standing there and asked, they'd done like 10 classes already. They go, "The style that you teach is so amazing. By the way, I didn't make up all of this stuff. I've pieced together things that work, and I've simplified it in a way to where it just people can understand. I'm not taking credit for any of it, but now that we've created this thing that is so easy to learn," they're like, "What do you call it? What is the riding style called that you teach?" Like in fighting, you have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all the different styles of fighting that are taught and people learn. What is our style? We need to come up with a name for it, right?
Yeah, we should come up with a name for it.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
I don't know how to come up with something like that.
Like TMA riding style.
Yeah.
Something. We got to come up with something, and we got to come up with like a small catchy slogan for it.
Yeah, we'll brand it.
So that, because it should be. If you guys are enjoying these podcast clips and you want to watch full episodes, you can subscribe at club.themotoacademy.com.